There are different trails, but they all lead to the truth. Follow, 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 follow. Welcome back to another episode of Rabbit Trails, where you never know where we may go. Welcome back, welcome back. So happy to be back. So I've decided that I'm going to do 2 times a month, so every other week. So I'll be looking for the podcast every other week instead of every week. A little bit too much for me. But today I got my good sis with me, Alania Mystique. Okay, in heels. What's up, girl? What's
Hey
up,
sis.
sis? Okay, today
Hello.
we're talking about dating spiritual. So I have a couple of questions. We're gonna get some feedback, and definitely I hope if some of any of this resonates with you, get into the comments and tell us about it. Okay. So the first question is going to be: now, is it easy or is it hard to you?
To me,
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard
Okay.
be-
Elaborate.
because I get told that I'm like a fresh glass of water that you drink when you don't when you've never had anything to drink.
Thirsty, they
Or I
thirsty.
know, but like I feel like people don't aren't their authentic selves, and that's why I think it's hard. They think their authentic self, and they paint this beautiful like picture. And I feel like spirituality, dating wise, it's okay to have your good days and your bad days, and nobody's perfect. Nobody is always a ray of sunshine.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm trying to improvise. With the language. Yeah, but I do understand that. For me, I was thinking about it and I said, for me, it's been hard because just to piggyback off you were saying, that's one thing I wanted to talk about is imposter syndrome. Okay, it's where people are portraying to be something that they're not because they see it and they like, oh yeah, yeah, I heard about chakras or something, but they're really not in tune with it. Like they're not doing the work, they're not doing the healing, but they're portraying on the outside to impersonate that. Like, the cliche words, everybody's saying the same shit, but are saying the same stuff, but are they doing it? You know what I mean? So it's the imposter syndrome for me. One of the big red flags is, in Grand Rising, it's a beautiful word, but I say rich rising. Okay. So I changed up just cause, but Grand Rising, it's very enduring. It means something, and you don't have to be spiritual to say it. You know what I mean? It's taken out of context because everybody has been doing it. It'd be a ancient motherfucker and be texting you Grand Rising like rise your ass somewhere else, okay? Because this ain't it. Like you already on that bullshit. So I think it gets really hard because you have to be careful of your energy. You have to use discernment when it comes to letting who in your energy because it's like you're a light, your energy. So you feed. You know what I mean? When you're the mothers, house of the mothers. Shout out Orianti.
Big Orion.
It's like you have to be very discerning and you go through changes, so it comes a time where you go through different shifts and you have to learn because your best teacher is experience. So you have to allow yourself to be open and not be afraid to step out and meet people. Because at one point I was just like, I'm not nothing with nobody. Like I'm cool, like and just really having this wall up. But really going through it and just not being scared to eventually open up because like I said, like like we're talking about, it is hard, but it's also can be easy when you are moving with discernment, when you're moving with the game plan, when you're moving with spirit, when you know what's going on, when you're using your gifts to see and you're not being like, oh, I'm still sitting in situations, oh, I knew this was gonna happen. No, we did that shit 10 years ago. We're not finna do that no more. It's about to be like when I see that sign, when I see a motherfucker look at me a certain type of way, those are the things that you need to start body language and not always what people say, but what people do. Sometimes you got to read in between the lines. So I think that's very important with dating because, people say they want, and then another thing, people say they want something, but they don't
Be
even
right
be,
there.
yeah, they don't even be ready to receive it. That's for one. Like you asking for something, but you're not even vulnerable enough to let it in. So you don't even know what it looks like, or you
Thank you.
don't know what love looks like. You ain't never been
That
loved
part.
correctly, so you don't even know what love looks like. All you know is
That part.
chaos and trauma. And oh, come on now, because I get into it,
Yep.
but definitely, you can intervene, you step in. I just be going off, but it's serious, because people know that they don't be ready for love, and then they'll go into people's life and suck them dry, knowing that they don't have any good intentions for them. You know what I mean? But that's what I said. That's why it's time to step up and protect yourself, but not be so protected and so guarded that you can't let what's meant for you in.
Yeah.
Does that yeah. So
Oh, you right. I could give you a story, girl.
go ahead, story time. Okay, go stories. Go
Shoot,
ahead.
before I even got into, well, first of all, I've been looking for an Elay in general for years since I've been in my 20s,
Okay.
right? So I met this beautiful woman. Not gonna say her name on
No
here,
names.
but she helped me be better for myself and make me look at things that I should do not only for myself but for my kid. And I wound up finding a Elay, not technically through her, but just being able to just embrace transformation and embrace change. And it's crazy because even after all that, she broke my heart. She wasn't ready for me.
See, and that's what I mean. Everybody that we meet is not going to be the one. Okay,
Right.
it could be just for fun, like like people, for real. Like people, everybody that you meet is not meant to stay. Everybody is not your lifelong partner. Everybody's not your soulmate or your twin flame. Like this is just somebody in passing, but it could be something that they say, something that they, a seed that you may need to plant. Like it's divine, it's divine, it's supposed to happen. So that's also a lot of people hold a lot of resentment when it comes to dating and projecting their hurts and fears from their past onto their current person. And that really needs to be healed, that really needs to be talked about, because everybody's not the same. You got to know who you're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Mm,
If you're projecting all these things of the past, you will never be happy, because your perception of love is always going to be off. And
yep.
I'm far from perfect, okay? See, I get some money out, but it hurts sometimes. And
Yeah.
I think
No, I
that's where
get.
everybody is scared to get hurt. But you have to, I think we're in a space where we are learning to get that childhood like love back. You know what I mean? That them love songs, okay? You know how the love songs make you feel
We was
like.
listening to them
Yeah,
the
we
other
were
day.
just by what was it? Love, actually, by music. And
Yeah.
that song, we said listen to that song, and that song is so different. Like I was like, damn, I remember when I used to feel like that, like in love, like I really loved the motherfucker, like couldn't do it. And it's like I've been missing that, because it's love is it's so rare, but we need more of it, okay? Because everybody has closed up their heart. Everybody's scared to get hurt and be vulnerable. Nobody wants to get taken advantage of. Nobody wants to go through that shit. And that's why a lot of people are single, because nobody wants to go through the process. But what we have to understand is people come into your life not by chance. You have to open up and give, friendships, relationships, even if it doesn't work out. It was something there that needed to be learned. It was a reflection. It was a lesson. It was a blessing. Okay, because lessons are blessings as long as you learn from them. Okay, if not, they become cycles and kicking your ass.
Yeah.
But
Literally.
I love love. I do. And I want others to start to change their perspective about, about dating. And this was dating spiritually, but just dating in general. Um, you have to, first of all, know who you are, because if you don't know who you are, then you're always looking for things in other people to satisfy, the holes that you have in yourself. But when there's no hole, when you're healing, you know what I mean, when you're going through the changes that you need to go through, and you're healing and you're elevating, there becomes less and less holes. It starts mending. You're becoming whole again. You're becoming back to your original self, back to your higher self. Okay, self mastery is key. So I feel like, mastering self, period, before you're trying to get out here and date. Because if I'm not a master of myself, how can I expect somebody to come in and make me happy if I don't even know what I want?
Right,
First of all,
right,
I don't
right.
even know what I want. So you're expecting things from people and you don't even know what you want. You know what I mean? So self mastery, a lot of the communication, building communication is key, trust, but it all goes back to being vulnerable and having to be in a space where
But you
you can be receptive.
know who to be vulnerable with.
Go ahead,
Like
talk about it.
like using discernment or intuition to really be like, okay, this is the person I can really like
Vibe with.
be okay with and vibe and not feel like they're gonna make me feel some type of way and vice versa. Cause it gotta be a two-way street.
Mhm.
And that's where people get messed up at. They they ask for something, they get it, and then they're like, oh my God, let me go back in my shell and all that. No,
Revert
man.
back to the old ways. That's why it's like you gotta continue to take that step. You gotta continue. You have to be vulnerable. Sometimes it's scary when you're falling
Yeah.
for somebody. It can get scary. You know what I mean? Like, damn,
And
I never felt this before. But it also brings you to that vulnerability, and it's about not being scared to be that vulnerable to actually go through with it. Like, because you. I'm seeing, I see people, I read people, all the time that have met people and they just go ghost. Like, bitch, we just shared half of our life story together. Fuck you, know, like, we supposed
right.
to really vibey. Like,
And
come back.
and it's sad. It's sad because it's sad because you know what makes it messed up? The people that they wanted to be with wasn't the person that they intended life to be like, and then they meet this person that they wanted the other person to be like, and they're like, nah, I don't want it to be this person. I want it to be that last person. But I'm like, bro, like that person wasn't even man enough or woman enough to even do it.
And another thing I want to say is love can change your life. Love can change your life. Love is meant to change you. Um, just to speak on my experience, I'm a little up there now, but like back in my day, like I didn't even realize that a lot of the stuff I was doing in dating was wrong because I had just been living like that for so long that it was normal to me. It was normal to not process no shit. Like I'm like, what? Hurt? I'm hurt. On to the next. What you mean? Like for real. That's how it was, and just learning and going through. Like, damn, I've been a womanizer. I've been sliding to you, cheating. You know what I mean? Just doing whatever. Like I wanted to, acting single in relationships. So I'm talking about long relationships too. Like, but it takes certain experience. Everybody be so butthurt about, maybe I this happened to me and this happened to me, but at the end of the day, taking accountability, like, damn, I really did do some fucked up shit, but that was probably my karma. My karma changed my whole life. It changed my
Yeah,
whole life. I was like, play with who? I don't even play over here. I'm finna not finna tell you no lie. But it also made me close down to love too, because I was like, I don't want to feel trapped. So, that's just my process. But everybody deals with, they're different, but it's about really going through the process with yourself and learning things about yourself and breaking it down so that you can be whole within. So when you come with somebody else, you don't become their stress. I don't believe in, like, when people say that's my everything. Like, I don't believe in that, because nobody should be your everything. It's like,
right.
you, at the end of the day, I feel like people, people go, people pass away. You still have to go on living. You know what I mean? You can't just sit in the corner and just dwell up. And if you feel like someone is your everything and you can't live without them, how can you go on? You can't.
Right.
So I don't feel like you should always have individuality, and that's in dating too. And I was just talking about feeling trapped because sometimes when people get into relationships, they they feel trapped because that person starts to be codependent on you. They need you. They want to talk to you all the time. They want you on the phone. And when you have a busy life and you're really making money, that has to be okay. Some people need space. You just have to
Yeah,
know who you're dealing with. Like, oh man, it got so many different layers. But that, that feeling, go ahead.
I agree, sis. Go ahead. I was
Yeah.
just agreeing.
But yeah, but that feeling trapped is a real thing. Okay, because if you're always on a motherfucker, there's no understanding, and then when you start to appease that from the other person, you start to lose yourself. You start to lose
Mhm.
yourself because you over here, oh, I want to make sure you ain't mad. You good? We good? I'm over here trying to do this, but is you we good? And then you start to, okay, well, I ain't gonna do that because this person might do that. No, that's how you miss out on opportunities. You start to lose yourself if you don't have that trust and that stable stability to know that you who I'm fucking with, period. Like, and when I'm out here, I'm getting to it. You know what I mean? But I've really been running into that because nobody wants to feel trapped in a relationship or feeling like they can't do something. Right now is a time of individuality and freedom. And
Right.
one of my lessons was learning that you can still be free in a relationship. We can't lose ourselves in these relationships. Like literally, we be in these relationships and come out like, damn, I've been gone. Like you gotta dust yourself off, find out what you like again, you know what I mean? Put yourself back out there. You ain't got no friends. You ain't been talking to nobody. Just think about it. If you got a group of homegirls, individually, when everybody starts to get somebody, you don't talk to them no more. Oh, bitch, don't come over here and use me because you were single. I need friendship all the time, but I have abandonment issues. Where did you go? Come back. And that's why I said people lose they lose their self into these relationships and then start to become and you're supposed to be one. Yes, of course, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying don't ever lose. I feel like people lose their self too much in relationships and in dating. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I remember. I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, I was doing my business, Mystique Soul Healing, and I was on a roll. And I got into this relationship, and when I tell you, you didn't see me at all for a couple years, like I'm just now getting myself back out there.
And that's
Just
how it
now.
be. Literally, I was in relationships all the way up until I was 30. I had never been single. I had never been single up until I was 30 years old. I had realized that I had just been in one relationship to the next. Some of them I didn't even want to be in. I was just
Yeah.
like, they're like, and that's the next thing I want to talk about is let's be honest, okay? Because I swing that way. But shit moves so fast. It was like I literally have met a woman in 2, 3 days. By the fourth day, we was living together like crazy shit. Like I don't know what we was on. In the early, I think it was the early 2000s, but and then the whole baby mama epidemic and shit. I done raised some kids, like still my babies to this day. But yeah, that whole epidemic was just crazy. But and so I think just slowing down and really knowing yourself and opening up the lines of community and with intention, moving with intentions because sexual energy, that's another thing I want to talk about is sexual energy. Sexual energy is very powerful. It's very powerful, and people don't understand how powerful it is. And I'm not saying that don't allow yourself to have pleasure, but it's like knowing the power you carry and using it wisely and knowing that's why you create Jezebel spirits and gigolos because they know they power, but they using it to woo your ass. Okay, that's why ooh, you can't get enough. Like motherfuckers casting spells in the cooking. Like, what's up? Like, no, you won't get me because I come with intentions and I'm finna. So
Right.
yeah, I just think
People get that so like one of my taboos is to be like not to be promiscuous at all because my energy is so like
thank God they mine.
like I have to be really careful because sexually after we can go there. Can we go there?
Yeah, go.
Because sexually like I feel drained after. And it's like I'm constantly trying to like call my energy back. But because the old me, I didn't realize the person was such a damn succubus, energy. Like I'm over here like, girl, let me go take me a white bath. Let me go take
Okay, and as soon as you get out the bath, you go and they
right.
move your ass right again. Like
That
no,
was
and that's a real thing. A lot of people be messing with magic undercovers. Like, I'll be doing a reading. I'll be like, yeah, they're getting readings on you. And I'll be like, what? They're getting readings on me. Like, they don't even do that type of stuff. Yeah, the fuck they do. Like, your hair is somewhere under their pillow. Like, they didn't mark your shoe. Like, they tying dreads, they doing all type of crazy weird shit. And people don't understand that sometimes if they're not aware, their relationship suffers because other people are sending, juju and stuff, bad juju at them and stuff. And people are not spiritually aware, so they're not aware because they have no self-awareness. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They falling ill, feeling sick, they don't know what's going on, they fighting in their relationship, somebody tearing their whole shit down and they don't know what the fuck is going on. Um, so yeah, that's really that energy is something crazy. That energy exchange, but I would say, just cherishing the people you meet and not always because a lot of people now are dating for everybody's just acting like it's going to be ready. It's going to be ready, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm guilty to a fault. Like, bitch, I want you to already come ready.
but
So I'm conflicted. So what do you think about that? I'm conflicted when it comes to that because it's like, yeah, but I spent a lot of my life like trying to build people up and shit and all of this, and I'm like, uh, I'm kind of at a point where I want a motherfucker to, already come like, boom, man, I got you. I got some ideas. Like, let's really build this empire. But I that shit is but then on the other hand, I'm like, if you've been building with somebody and it's really gonna work, sometimes you get like one love in a lifetime, like that one, like some people are not replaceable. I
right,
I feel like some people are not replaceable.
I'm okay.
Bitch, you gonna
No,
stay coming back. Yeah, like cook crack. Years back. Don't get me
that,
say no.
no. I'm used to building people up too, and it's like I don't want my next partner to come already prepared, but I just at least want you half prepared. At least half. Like bring something. A little bit. Just a little bit to the
And that's why
table.
I'm
So
like, I don't want to be out here just single forever because I'm like, no, you got to be together. You got to be together spiritually. Every got your money. Like, I just like, damn. I was literally
but
just listening to somebody and they was talking about the percentages of the people that was available. And I was like, that shit sounds very fucking accurate. So, the whole poly thing and shit,
I'm over that too.
I
Cause
don't know. It don't sound bad.
I I can't see myself sharing my partner. I want my partner for me. I want my partner to be like, okay, I do my business thing. I'm like, you do like we come together at
Right.
you know
Okay.
when
Now,
we
see,
supposed.
that's what I'm saying. I have a lot of different perspectives when it comes to dating and love like that. So that's why it's called rabbit trails because we gonna be. But I'm like I don't think the poly would be a bad thing. as long as people are doing it for the right reasons. Are you going to build a community? Are we going to actually build an empire? Are we going to not have all this messiness? But it takes a certain type of person to realize that that's what they want, because people are saying that they want that, but they don't really want that. Some people are just wanting it for sex. Like, that's a threesome, babe. Just do that. Like, you don't got to bring somebody into your whole home. Like, or people or women just doing it because he gonna cheat anyways. Now that's low vibrational as fuck, because you don't have no faith in yourself for your nigga not to cheat. What's going on? Oh, nigga shit. I don't like hearing that shit, because who's cheating? Bitch,
That,
I don't play that. Like,
yeah,
I really don't have a problem with people cheating. Like, in my older like relationships, like, it's getting them the fuck away from me. For real. But yeah, it's just like, I don't feel like it should be based off of a reason like that. If it's something that you want to work out. But then, I've had a lot of different experience with couples who swear that they want that, and then I come in as the third, and then the girl wants to compete. Like, bitch, hold on, I was here for y'all. There's no competition. I'm out of here. Or the relationship is already failing, and then they feel like bringing somebody in is going to help. Like, no, babe. I had that happen. And then the dude tried to get with me the next day, trying to slide me his number. No, I walked in for both of y'all. I'm leaving out on both of y'all. Like, ugh. Like, I don't do shit like that. Like, and so I think just maybe
I feel like
being in a community that is built for. I mean, I've had probably with two women. It was a catastrophe. It was. It should have never happened, because it was already built on chaotic BS. You know, um, I don't know. I think everybody's finding themselves. If it's for you, it's for you. I'm open. I have a different perspective about things. So yeah, that's
I guess
that's just what I wanted to say on that though. But
I feel like I know I'm bored. I'm good. Um,
yeah,
I feel like
to each his own. I think that's cool. A lot of people is into stuff. It's like, really, in 2025, like, it's crazy, because when I was in high school, it wasn't okay, for you to like girls and stuff. Like, we was slowly coming out and shit, like peeking our head out. I've been with women who are grown ass women and just now realize that they like women, or they first girlfriend, their parents don't know. Like, so times are really changing. Like, in
that
2025, it's like anything goes. I'm like, motherfuckers don't got no morals, no type of respect, no, just nothing. Will do anything for some money. Like, no,
part.
like, I will say, bring value back, bring morals back, bring self respect back, bring uh that, not that sellout shit. Like, you got to stand on something. You got to be firm. You got to believe in something. Like, God, spiritual source, but among other things, our ancestors. You know what I rock with, but like, you gotta believe in something, because people just be out here just fucking up other people's life. But you gotta take accountability and stop letting those type of people come in and fuck up your life too. Because, baby, that's
That
why I said, when I gotta go, I gotta go. Bitch, I don't care. I will not talk to you. If you are disrupting my peace, I will cut you the fuck off so fast. I don't care. Friend, cousin, folk, I don't, mama, grandma, I don't care. You gotta go.
nah. Okay. I don't. I can't. I can't. Not when you know what I got going on and you still acting like that. That's what irks me. Is you know what you got going on. You express what you got going on, and they still like don't give a fuck. And then you call them out on their shit, and then they're like, "Oh, I get it." Like, nah, bro, you should have been woman enough to even just understand like the whole scenario. And then you got to think some people just claim a number to be this age and not even mature. And they mindset be just
So,
stupid.
what you say was the last sentence you said?
I'm saying like they say they're mature and all this and that they can
Mhm.
handle this be just in general, and they just really don't know. And then when you call them out on their shit, it's like,
Yeah, emotional maturity is a big thing, and a lot of people lack it. Because if you're not healing and you have, this angry ass child in you, that's filled with trauma from getting bullied or getting abused, and then that's the kid that's lashing out in your relationships. It's not gonna work because and then people expect others to stay around and deal with the chaos. No, you have to go through those dark night of souls, and yes, if you allow me to be here with you and go through it with you, that's different than you lashing out at me and making me the problem or making me the issue. Okay, because
that's
I'm
what
not the problem. The problem was some deeper shit the deeper journey that you need to go on. That's what a lot of people are avoiding. They want to sit up and argue about some little petty shit instead of doing the personal work because it's deeper than that. That's why when people get all out of pocket and out of about I'll be like, it's so much bigger shit to worry about. One of my pet peeves is stupid shit, bullshit,
yeah.
petty shit. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, it's funny to me. Like, I'm not finna waste my energy on that type of shit. And I think that's a lot of people in dating are tired. Shit, I'm fucking tired. That's it. Tired of being tired. But love is a high vibration, and we definitely need to jump back in that wave and that pool of vulnerability and go back to that space of childhood and find that happy place and be in your joyful space, because the happier you are, the more abundance. That's the energy, that's the flow. I was literally just talking about this. Make sure that y'all go check out my my TikTok. I'm gonna post my link tree at the bottom. Go follow everything, my TikTok, my Facebook. But yeah, just listen to the message because a lot of these messages are coming out. If you don't know me, Essential Essence, Soul Essentials on TikTok, Essential for the Soul. All right, go get that poetry book. And yeah, it's just rabbit trails. Like, we could talk like these conversations and these issues and subjects, it's just never ending because knowledge is vast. Like, knowledge goes on. There's always something to be said. So I wanna thank sis for coming on today. And I'm going to tag her things down at the bottom as well. Make sure that you support. Support is free. Okay. And if they ain't supporting you, you gotta get away from me. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see y'all next time. Peace. Shop Essential Essence. Check out our manifestation candles as well as our other spiritual products to help become a better you.